E Pluribus Unum. You have seen these three words thousands of times. They're woven right into the fabric of the United States. But what if I told you that the real story of where this iconic phrase comes from is a historical puzzle, and one that's way stranger and more fascinating than you can probably imagine?
From many, one. I mean, it's a really powerful idea, right? It symbolizes the forging of a single nation from 13 pretty different colonies. You see it on your coins, on your cash, and of course, on the Great Seal of the United States. It just feels completely, quintessentially American.
But what if its history actually starts with a puzzle, one that's hidden in a 17th century Italian book, a book that seems to have absolutely nothing to do with the American Revolution? Well, today, we're going to unravel that exact mystery.
So our journey doesn't begin in Philadelphia with the Founding Fathers. Nope, it actually starts over a century earlier, in Milan, with an Italian abbot and his incredible book of symbols.
Okay, so what you're looking at here is the title page of a book called Mondo Simbólico, or Symbolic World. It was published way back in 1653 by an Italian abbot named Filippo Picinelli. Now this thing is a massive encyclopedia of emblems and what they all mean. And hidden somewhere on this very, very busy page is the secret origin of America's motto.
Let's zoom in a little. See it? Right there in the bottom left corner, we find our first huge clue. The exact phrase, E Pluribus Unum, floating right above an image of several rivers flowing down from the mountains and merging into one. So, case closed, right? The motto is just about rivers joining together? Well, not quite.
This is where our historical puzzle starts to get a little weird, because when you actually go and read Picinelli's book, you find out he had a totally different symbol in mind for his motto.
So get this. Picinelli explains that the motto, E Pluribus Unum, is meant to describe a writer, someone like him, who gathers knowledge from a ton of different sources, just like bees gather nectar from many different flowers to create one single thing, honey. So amazingly, the motto was originally about bees, not rivers, at all.
Which, leads to the pretty obvious question we should all be asking right now. If the motto is about bees, then where are the bees? Why did he pair the phrase with a picture of rivers? And the answer, turns out, is just simple artistic design. Picinelli had already used a beehive emblem for a different motto, literally right next to this river emblem. So to avoid being repetitive on his already crowded title page, he just swapped the image. It was a practical choice, but one that had some really fascinating consequences.
But here's the thing, that choice was far from random. The river image wasn't just some random substitute. It actually added this profound second layer of meaning to the motto, a meaning that would echo across the centuries, all centered on the ideas of concord, harmony, and strength and unity.
In another part of his book, Picinelli explains this idea using a really similar river emblem, but with the motto Unita Fortiora, which means union is stronger. He was saying that when many virtuous forces unite, they become way more powerful. He was basically building an alliance of ideas in his book.
And it's that powerful idea, strength through unity, forging a virtuous alliance, that makes the incredible leap from a 17th century Italian book all the way to the birth of a new nation.
I mean, think about it. Over 120 years later, the American founders were trying to do the exact same thing, unite 13 different colonies into one strong republic. A lot of them were Freemasons, and a central idea in Masonry is reuniting what is scattered and building alliances among virtuous people. The theme was a perfect fit. The connection became official in 1776, when E Pluribus Unum was proposed for the very first design of the Great Seal by a designer named Pierre-Eugène du Cimetière. The motto was part of the American experiment from the very beginning, and it made it all the way to the final version adopted in 1782.
So what we have here is this incredible bridge of ideas across time. The concept of uniting many into one, of forging virtuous alliances, finding strength in concord. All these principles connected Picinelli's intellectual project directly with the political project of the American founders.
So what started as this clever little emblem in an old Italian book became one of the most enduring symbols of a nation, and it carried with it this hidden history of bees and rivers and the timeless power of unity.
Ultimately, the journey of this motto is just remarkable. It totally transformed from an author's clever metaphor for putting a book together into a new nation's profound declaration of its entire mission, to forge a single unified republic out of many different states.
And that leaves us with a final, Pretty fascinating question to think about. Picinelli dreamed of spreading virtue through the union of many ideas. The founders dreamed of it through the union of many states. So what is the modern equivalent to that dream today? What does it mean for us, right now, to truly become one for many?